Voices Positively Black.
And in this weekend's Positively Black, we're taking a tour of Manhattan's hidden black history. Much of it is centered around one Midtown street. News 4's Myles Miller gives us a closer look.
In the early 1900s, long before the bright lights of the Apollo on 125th Street dazzled as the center of the black diaspora in New York, the place to be was about 6 miles south.
Tell me how 53rd Street shaped the black experience in New York.
This was like a main street that included places like the colored YMCA. The YMCA, like many organizations, prominent organizations, was segregated.
Eric K. Washington is a historian who leads a tour called The Road We Came, taking New Yorkers and tourists alike from Lower Manhattan all the way up to Harlem to showcase the places and people that make up New York's rich black history.
There were also a couple of prominent hotels on this street. Hotel Marshall's was the most prominent of two. Marshall's was interesting because it was said to be the first to feature black entertainment in New York City. And it operated for about 13 years from 1900 to 1913.
Among the stops on the tour, the former St. Benedict de Moor Church, built 152 years ago, the first Roman Catholic church for blacks in the North.
Black people worship here, black Catholics. Tell me more about that.
St. Benedict de Moor was a Sicilian-born son of enslaved African parents, as is recorded to be. So his name was sort of adopted by black Catholics in New York. This church was established in Greenwich Village, actually, in 1883, which was a fairly cohesive, densely populated African-American community.
This is a street that many people don't know was associated with blacks in New York. What should people take away from it?
People who are not from the city, even who are New Yorkers, tend to think of New York's black history as just being Harlem, because we didn't learn much more than that in the schools. So that's a good takeaway, because we start in Lower Manhattan, here we are in Mid-Manhattan, and we end up in Harlem. And you could see that there's a narration here.
Little children, get on board.
Kenneth Overton is another person you'll meet on this journey through black culture. He sings songs by composers at important stops along the way.
Well, I am your musical guide through the whole tour, so I sing about 25 different songs or spirituals, guiding you from Lower Manhattan to Midtown through Harlem.
We met at the Metropolitan Opera, where starting in October, he'll star as Lawyer Frazier in the Gershwin classic Porgy and Bess.
Porgy and Bess, for me, is just a great work of art. It's incredible. Everybody all over the world loves it.
In black circles, it's often debated whether the opera, which is performed around the world, is truly a sensitive portrayal of the struggles of the segregated South, or does it make a mockery of them? Harry Belafonte once called its dialect racially demeaning.
There used to be, or maybe sometimes still is, a stigma for black artists that if you do Porgy and Bess, then you'll be pigeonholed into that piece only, and other companies won't hire you for other things. One of the reasons why I wanted to take this is that it's not every day that the Metropolitan Opera calls you, but Porgy and Bess has been such a cornerstone in my career. I've sung it all over the world.
Porgy and Bess opens October 31st at the Metropolitan Opera. I'm Myles Miller, News 4.
As for the tour, it runs through the end of July, and you can book your tickets for the Midtown, Harlem, or Lower Manhattan tour, or all three, at osopera.org. And we're committed to bringing you Positively Black.